If you have ever clicked a button on an app and wondered what actually happens behind the scenes, this video is for you. Today, we're talking about REST APIs. By the end of this video, you're going to understand what a REST API is, how to send requests to one, how to read responses, and how to actually test whether an API is working the way it is supposed to. We'll do this in 3 parts. First, I will explain the core concepts, what APIs are, how they are structured, and what the key pieces mean. Then, we will jump into a live demonstration in Postman, which is the most popular tool for this kind of work. After that, I will walk you through a couple additional topics that come up all the time in real testing, like authentication, error scenarios, and how to turn what you see into actual written test cases. If you stick around to the end, you will have a solid foundation to start testing real APIs on the job. Let's get into it. Let's start at the top. API stands for Application Programming Interface. This is a mouthful, but the concept is straightforward. An API is a way for 2 pieces of software to talk to each other. Think of it like a waiter at a restaurant. You are the customer, the kitchen is the server, the backend system with all the data and logic. The waiter is the API. You tell the waiter what you want. They take that message to the kitchen and they bring back whatever the kitchen prepared. You do not need to know how the kitchen works. You just need to know how to talk to the waiter, what to ask for, and in what format. A REST API specifically uses the rules of HTTP, which is the same protocol your browser uses to load web pages. That is great for us as testers because the tools and concepts are consistent across almost every modern application. Before we open Postman, there are 4 concepts you need to understand. Every REST API is built on these. Routes are noun-based. They describe a resource, a user, an order, or a product, and not an action. You will see plural nouns like /users for lists and /users /42 when targeting a specific item by its ID. These are the main HTTP methods. Get is safe. It should never change data, only read it. Post creates, put replaces, and delete removes. These 4 cover the majority of what you will test. Status codes are the first thing you check in any response. They tell you the story before you even look at the data. The body is the payload, or the actual data being sent or received. It is almost always formatted as JSON. JSON uses key value pairs. Keys are strings and quotes. Values can be strings, numbers, booleans, arrays, or nested objects. When you test an API response, you are often checking that this body contains the right keys, the right types of data, and the right values. Before we move on to the demo, here's what to remember. Routes are where you send the request. Methods are the action that you are performing. Status codes tell you what happened, and the body is the actual data. All right, let's open Postman. If you don't have it yet, go to postman.com and download the free desktop version. Create a free account or skip sign-in. Either way works. Instead of using a third-party service, we are going to test an API we built ourselves. It's a simple anime list API built with Express.js running locally on your machine. This is closer to what you will do in an actual job. Testing an API your team built, not someone else's demo service. The project has 2 parts, an Express API on port 3001 and a React front-end on port 5173. If you want to follow along, the link to the GitHub repo is in the description. Once you've cloned the repo, in Visual Studio Code, open a new terminal, and first we need to start the API. So we're going to cd API, we're going to do an npm install, and then we're going to do an npm space run space dev. You should see a message like this that says anime API is running, and you can see our localhost address is here, and we also have a URL for our Swagger UI. If you hover over that URL and control click, you should open up a new page with the Swagger documentation of our API. This is Swagger UI. It is built-in documentation for the API. This is generated automatically from annotations in the source code. Every endpoint is listed here with its description, the fields it accepts, the status codes it returns, and example request and response bodies. You can even send requests directly from here by clicking Try It Now. As a tester, this is your first stop on any project. Before you open Postman, you read the docs. Swagger is the most common way modern teams publish that documentation. Let's leave this running, and we'll need to open a second terminal. In this one, we're going to start our front end. So we'll do cd client npm space install, and then npm space run space dev. You should see a message here that says local with your localhost URL. Control click that, and this should open our anime list front end. This anime list front end is connected to our anime API. If you scroll down a bit, you can see it's already preloaded with 3 anime entries. Everything you do inside of Postman will also be reflected here. Inside of Postman, go up here at the top, click on this plus button that says create new request. You should see a screen like this. In this dropdown, make sure your method is set to get, and we're going to go to this URL, localhost 3001 /anime. So this is going to do a get request to the route of /anime. Go ahead and hit send. Now look at the bottom panel. The status is okay. Body contains an array of 3 anime objects. Each one has an ID, title, genre, rating, status, and notes. This is what a successful get looks like. You asked for a list, the server gave you a list, and the status confirms it works. Now let's get a single entry. Change the URL to /anime /1. Go ahead and send. Now we got 1 object instead of an array. The path parameter 1 targeted that specific anime. This is the difference between /anime and /anime /1. The collection versus 1 specific resource. Now test what happens when you try to send an ID that does not exist. So instead of 1 here, we're going to change it to 999. 999. Send that, you get a 404 not found. The API returns a clear error message in the body. This is expected behavior. As a tester, you would write a test case that confirms invalid IDs, return 404 with an informative error, not 200 with empty data or a server crash. Now let's add a new anime. Change the method to post, and the URL, we're going to remove 999 and just leave it as /anime. We need to click on body up here, make sure it's set to raw, make sure this is set to JSON, and I'm going to use this anime. So the title is Cowboy Bebop, genre is action sci-fi, rating is 9, status is completed, and notes are timeless classic. Let's go to the header section, and if you click on this icon that says 9 hidden, and you can see all the headers that we're sending, the one we're looking for is the one that says content type application.json. Without this, some servers will reject the request or misread the body. Go ahead and click send. You can see this got a 201 created. The server made a new resource and returned it with an ID of 4. The server assigned that number. Let's go back to the React app and hit the refresh button. Scroll down and you can see that our card for Cowboy Bebop is now there. That is the full loop. Postman sends the request, the API processes it, and the front end reflects the result. Key checkpoints for any post is that the status should be 201, not 200. Response body should include the server generated ID, and the required fields should be present in the response. Put updates a resource. This API supports partial updates, so you only need to send the fields you want to change. Let's change the method from post to put and update the URL from /anime to /anime/3. Let's go to the request body, and let's say that Demon Slayer just finished airing and we want to update the status and bump the rating. So our body is going to be status completed, rating 9, and the notes finished strong, animation was outstanding throughout. Go ahead and hit send. You can see you got a 200 OK. The full resource comes back with the merged values. Fields that we did not include kept their original values. That is the behavior this API implements. Now let's check the React app again. Go ahead and hit the refresh button, and taking a look at the Demon Slayer card, you can see that our updates have been applied, and you can see that the Demon Slayer card now shows the updated status, badge, and rating. If you want to do additional testing on puts, you can try sending put without the title field and confirm the title is preserved and not deleted. Then you can try sending an empty title string. The API should reject that with the 400. Feel free to try that out and see what happens. Delete is the simplest. Let's remove the Cowboy Bebop entry we added in step 2. We're going to change our method to delete. We can clear out this body because we don't need it, and it's going to be /anime/4, which is the ID for Cowboy Bebop. Go ahead and hit send. You get a 200 OK. This API returns the deleted object in the response body. That is a nice touch because it lets the client confirm exactly what was removed. Some APIs return 204 no content instead with no body, which is also valid. Either is acceptable. Let's go back to the React app, refresh, and scroll down. You can see the Cowboy Bebop card is now gone. Let's try to send this delete request again. You get a 404 not found. The resource is already gone, so the second request correctly returns not found, as expected. If it returned a 200 again, that would be a bug. You deleted something that no longer exists and the server did not notice. Let's end this demo with something you do constantly on real projects, intentionally sending bad data to see how the API handles it. This API has validation built in, so we can see it in action. First, let's try creating an anime without a title. Change our method to post. Our URL is just going to be /anime, and our body, we're just going to put genre action and rating 7. Go ahead and send. We got a 400 bad request. The API caught the missing title and returned a clear error message. That is good behavior. The client gets useful feedback instead of a crash or a silent failure. Now let's try with the bad rating. I've set the title so that won't fail anymore, but the rating is set to 99. Go ahead and send. We get another 400. The API rejected the out of range value. Now let's try an invalid status. Send. Same result. Each of these is a real test case you would document. When an API returns the right status code and a useful error message, that is a well-built API. When it crashes with the 500 or silently succeeds with broken data, that is a bug. The anime API we built has no authentication, but real-world APIs almost always do require auth. Let's talk about how that works. The most common pattern today is bearer token authentication. After you log in, the API returns a token. It's a long encoded string. You can include that token in every subsequent request inside the authorization header. In Postman, click the authorization tab, select type as bearer token, paste in your token here, and send the request. If we look at the console, you can see in our request headers, the authorization was sent with the bearer token. As a tester, you want to verify these scenarios for every protected endpoint. No token should return 401 unauthorized. Expired or invalid token should return 401 unauthorized. Valid token with wrong role should return 403 forbidden. Valid token with correct role should return 200 or the expected success code. The difference between 401 and 403 matters. 401 means I do not know who you are. 403 means I know exactly who you are and you are not allowed to do this. Headers carry metadata about the request and the response. You have already seen two important ones. Content type application JSON, which tells the server what format the body is in. This is required for post and put request with the JSON body. Also, there's accept application JSON, which tells the server what format you want the response in. Most REST APIs default to JSON, but specifying it is safer and clearer. In the response headers, you need to check for these things. Content type confirms the response is JSON. X-rate limit remaining on some APIs tells you how many requests you have left before being throttled. Hash headers, like cache control, are worth noting for read-heavy endpoints. Most of this is invisible when things work correctly. You pay attention to headers when something breaks, and being comfortable finding them in Postman saves a lot of debugging time. Another tip before we move on, this API exposes its open API spec as a JSON file at localhost 3000/API-docs.json. Postman can import that directly and build out an entire collection for you. All 5 endpoints pre-configured with all the right methods and example bodies and ready to run. Inside of Postman, click this import button up here. Up in this field, paste in the URL for the JSON doc. Go ahead and click import. On the left, you can see we have a new anime list API collection created. If you expand that out, you can see all of our methods here: get, put, delete. Let's open one of these requests. You can see that Postman already set up this request for us. This is how most professional QA engineers bootstrap a new API testing project. You get the full endpoint structure in seconds and then customize from there. You can add your own test scripts, environment variables, and edge case requests on top of the generated base. It is also a good way to verify that the documentation matches reality. If the spec says a field is required, but the API accepts a request without it, that is a documentation bug worth filing. Here's something that separates good API testers from people just clicking send on the happy path. You need to actively try to break things. For every endpoint, you need to run through these scenarios. Number 1, missing required fields. Remove a required field from your post body and send. Does it return 400? Does the error message tell you which field is missing? Or does it silently create a broken record? The expectation here is a 400 with an error. Number 2, wrong data type. Send a value outside the allowed range where a constrained number is expected. This should return a 400 with a meaningful message. Number 3, non-existent ID. Target any ID that doesn't exist. Should return 404. Number 4, invalid enum value. If the API restricts a field to specific values, try an unsupported one. Expected here is a 400 with an error listing valid status options. Number 5, oversized payload. Send a body with an extremely long string value for title or notes. Does the API reject it cleanly or does it crash? These are not edge cases. They are scenarios real users hit all the time. Finding them before production is your job. You have sent requests and read responses. Now what? You write it down in a way that anyone on your team can reproduce and verify. A good API test case has 5 parts: title, preconditions, steps, expected result, and actual result. That's it. Simple, repeatable, reviewable. Every feature has 3 types of test cases: positive, that are the happy path; valid input, valid state, expected success; negative, which are the invalid input or invalid state, any of the error scenarios we went through. Edge cases are the boundary conditions and unusual but valid inputs. Edge cases are where APIs frequently have gaps. The specs says rating must be between 1 and 10, but nobody tested exactly 1 or exactly 10 versus 0 and 11. That's part of your job. When you find something wrong, write a clear bug report. API bugs need specific details. The more specific your bug report, the faster a developer can reproduce and fix it. Include the exact request, URL, method, headers, and body. Include the exact response, and remove any guesswork. Let's wrap this up. Here's what I want you to do next. First, you need to download Postman. If you already don't have it, clone or download the Anime API and the React client from this video's GitHub link in the description. Get both servers running, the API on port 3001 and the React app on port 5173. Write 5 test cases for the anime endpoint, at least 2 positive, 2 negative, and 1 edge case, and make sure you are actually running the request, not just describing them. If you want to go deeper, the next things to learn are environment variables in Postman, collection runners, and eventually writing automated assertions using Postman's test scripts. And if your team uses Swagger or any open API-based docs, practice importing a spec into Postman and using it as the baseline for a full test collection. Those topics are for a follow-up video. If this helped you, drop a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment if you have a question or if there's a specific API testing topic you want me to cover next. See you later.